Is Oddity the scariest horror movie of the year? I don't know, but can we stop with the trend of saying every movie that comes out is the scariest movie of the year? I feel like it sets up the viewer to go into the movie with super high expectations, and it sets up a lot of them to be disappointed with what they're seeing. Now, I know I'm guilty of this myself. I get so excited when I find a movie that I like that is actually legitimately scary to me, and Oddity is scary, but I think calling it the scariest movie of the year, of the decade, is a little bit much, especially with having just had Longlegs come out and everybody calling that the scariest movie of the decade. They're good, okay? These are good movies and they're worth seeing. Oddity is a new IFC horror film from the same director of Caveat, and it centers on a medium whose sister was brutally murdered, and she uses items from her oddity shop to figure out what happened to her. This one is a kind of slow burn, and it's set in one location in a creepy old house in the middle of the woods. The movie has an incredible opening where we see her sister, who is in this home alone in the middle of the night, and her husband's working late, and she gets a strange knock on her door by a guy who looks visually upsetting. Like, he looks like he would be a bad guy if you're just judging him based on his looks, and he claims that he saw someone go inside her house and that she's in danger, and she has to decide, should she let him in and deal with him? Is he telling the truth? Or should she just deal with the danger that is or isn't inside her house? Jump to present day, where we follow her blind sister who owns an oddity shop, and it's played by the same actress who is very good. Like, these two characters don't feel like the same person. They feel like two different sisters, twin sisters, and she's just very charming and charismatic as this woman who is super into the macabre, the occult, and she likes collecting haunted objects in her shop. And we also meet her brother-in-law, who is this psychologist who is very kind of arrogant and totally into himself, and he kind of brushes off this stuff, and I think he's only keeping this relationship with the sister out of good faith for his wife and what his late wife would have wanted. Sister is struggling. It's coming up on the year of her sister's death. The story takes an interesting turn where she is uncovering what happened to her sister by touching different objects that are related to the crime or related to the people that were around her leading up to the moments of her death. When she does that, we get to see what actually happened to the sister, and it's terrifying. I think that there's two really great jump scares in this movie that really got me, and they're not cheap jump scares. They feel very earned. I feel like the sound design of this movie really heightened that sense of terror. There's also this really creepy wooden structure that has a backstory that our character briefly gives, but he's terrifying, and you see him and he's not moving, but you know that at one point he's going to come into play to the story. So there's that anticipation and buildup of when he actually does come into play to the story, how it's going to be, and it's probably going to be brutal, and it is brutal, and it's fun. I think that the story in this one is a little predictable, but it feels almost like a classic ghost story with a modern take of these haunted objects added into the picture. I think that the ending of how the story unfolds and what happens to the people involved with her sister's murder is a bit unsatisfying, but I think that was the point. But I think that this movie is super entertaining the whole way through. I was very intrigued by the mystery and how the sister was going to use these haunted objects to get revenge. The movie is all about atmosphere and that sense of dread that's building throughout the movie as you're trying to figure out what is the sister's plan and how are these people going to react to it. I think it's one of the best horror movies of the year. I don't think it's as scary as everybody is saying it is. Like, I feel like everybody is hyping this one up to be super terrifying, but it has two really great terrifying moments to me that are jump scares, but I don't think it's one of the scariest movies of the year, but that doesn't mean it's bad. This one is currently in theaters and it will later be on Shudder within the next few months. I highly recommend going to see it in the theater because I think that will make the experience even better, and it probably will make the movie scarier to you. Let me know if you've seen this one, what your thoughts are in the comments, and thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.